Welcome, I am XX and this is my unknown channel, and today we'll watch this unknown review on Chorus. Ikazo! Chorus is a forgotten anime classic that looks suspiciously like Garo, even though I could find no connection between Garo. Let me know in the comments if there's any connection between Garo and Chorus, because I could not find any connection between them, but they look so similar, and their themes are kind of like similar as well. Chorus is an anime OVA from 2005, made by Tatsunoko Production, also known for Metal Fight Blade, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Ping Pong the Animation, Psycho Pass, and Cashier Sins. Chorus falls under the genre of action, fantasy, and sci-fi. And at the time of this recording, there's a free version on YouTube, link in the description below. Story. What if a city was alive and needed warriors to protect its soul? Well, this is the main idea of Chorus, a dark superhero anime set in a stylized version of Shinjuku, Tokyo, where humans and yōkai, spirits, exist side by side, even if most people can't see it. The story follows Otoha, a man chosen to become Chorus. Chorus is a supernatural agent who maintains the balance between the city, its spirits, and its people. At first, Chorus feels like a monster of the week story, where Otoha and other people battle microbes that are captured yōkai, created when the balance breaks. But beneath the action is a bigger conflict. A former Chorus named Echo believes Tokyo should be remade entirely, and Echo begins orchestrating chaos across the city to force the transformation. As Otoha struggles with injuries, loss, and the possibility of losing his power altogether, the anime slowly reveals that being Chorus isn't just about fighting monsters, it's about embodying the will of the city itself. Meanwhile, the main focus of the story is when detectives investigating a string of supernatural murders ground the story in human consequences, showing how ordinary people suffer when the unseen world collapses into the visible one. Chorus avoids heavy exposition, forcing viewers to piece together its mythology through imagery, atmosphere, and small fragments of dialogue. Cities are treated like living organisms, yōkai like spiritual energy, and Chorus as the white blood cell that keeps everything functioning. By the finale, Ota's battle with Echo becomes a battle of ideals, rather than purely physical. It's a clash between preservation and reinvention, between protecting imperfect humanity and reshaping the world. Definitely, Chorus is an anime you want to watch at night. It's very dark, not just story-wise, but setting, and it's usually set at night. It's very dark. It's very good at watching at night, and you should definitely watch my video on how to watch anime, because I talk about how watching anime with a proper atmosphere elevates the experience, and watching Chorus at night would definitely elevate this experience. So I'm going to give Chorus, the story, a C. Characters. Let's talk about my favorite character. That little cute yōkai girl, she's just so cute. With a speech pattern, the way she looks, I just want to hug her. And she just tries her best to help me in whatever way she can. She reminds me of that one meme. It's like, I try my best, I'm a Namalama Karagus. You know, she just reminds me of that meme. I'm a Namalama Karagus. What do? I try my best. I'm a Namalama Karagus. That one meme. I'm gonna put it on screen.
What the fuck is this thing?
I'm an Anomalocaris.
What do you do?
I do my best.
Aww.
I just find it to be so adorable, and she's just so kind and useful. And that's good, because a lot of characters that fall into this like character type tend to be useless if they're that cute, but she was useful, so I like her a lot. A lot of characters don't really talk much, like Yurine and Otoha, but nonetheless their characters are not bad, and more importantly, they're not annoying. So they serve their purpose at the end of the day. But we spend most of our times with the detectives actually, so that's where we get most of our character development from. The detectives being Kyurei and Sagisaka. Kyurei and Sagisaka have the strongest character development within the story, because we get to see them grow, you know, and they're just more relatable. We get to see them struggle, and we get to see a more fleshed out character arc by these two mortal beings. Echo is the main villain. However, the issue here is we don't see a lot of him. He works in the shadows a lot. So that's the main issue with Echo. Like, we just don't see him till like the very, like really near the end, right? And we really don't get to hear much about him. Me personally, I like a villain that's more active in the story. You know, they can work in the shadows, but definitely more screen time and just being more active within the story. So for me, characters is gonna get a C. Animation. The animation is superb. Once again, when I give an anime a high rating in animation, it's not only because it looks good during the action scenes, which it definitely does. Chorus definitely nails the action scenes, but it's also because it nails like the chill scenes when they're not doing too much, right? it looks really good. The animation does have a mix of 3D and 2D, and I think the 3D is done really well, especially given the time period that Chorus came out on. This era of anime, when 3D animation came out, would usually look bad, but Chorus really nailed it. And I think it is done because they use a very common trick that studios use in movies, is they hide it in the dark, right? So a lot of Chorus is at night, right? So they hide the animation, the 3D animation in the dark, so it looks really good. So I just think it's so fitting that everything is done at night. The animation for me is gonna get an A. Cinematography. With that being said, the cameras were very dynamic, right? They're using a lot of 3D with the animation and then with the camera. And the 3D cameras added a lot to the action scenes, right? Establishing shots, you know, just the action going up and down, right and left. It was just so much fun. It's so engaging. And I believe Cars really broke the boundaries for what 3D animation and camera could do in anime at this time. So you're really here watching Cars and you're really looking at a relic and a gem of its time. Cinematography is gonna get a B. The sound was solid. It was high paced when it needed to be and slowed down when it needed to be in combat scenes. But my favorite sound in the whole OVA would be this one sound when they had like this hip hop beat, and I thought that was really cool. I just thought it was really fun. That's the beat that's playing throughout this video. Maybe I choose that beat as the beat to play throughout this video, but I think it was really fun. So sound is gonna get a B for me. World building. The world building was really solid because we got to see the world building and the lore of the cars, and we got to see shortly some other cars. We got to see the yōkai, we got to see the hospitals, we got to see how regular people interact with the city, we got to see how regular people interact with Shinjuku, we got to see the police force. We just got to see a lot of things that really flushed out the world and answered a lot of questions that I had about it. I was especially curious about the highway system and how that worked. Never really got answers to it, but at least I got to see how the highway system worked, looked like at least. World building gets a B. Themes. What happens to culture when technology moves faster than tradition? In Cars, yokai represent the spirit of the city, its history, its everyday functions, the invisible things that keep the society running. As the world becomes more modern, those spirits grow weaker because people stop believing in them, stop noticing them, and stop needing them. Technology fills the gaps that folklore once explained. That's where Mikutas come in. Instead of fading away, they choose evolution. They fuse with technology, becoming something unnatural, stronger on the surface, but disconnected from what they are truly meant to protect. Karish frames this as a warning. Progress without memory becomes imbalance, and when one piece of the city disappears, something tangible is lost with it. And this can also be seen through gentrification in cities all over the world, in particularly Chinatowns. At the center of the conflict are two cars representing two philosophies. Echo believes the city must be forced into change, even if it means controlling humans and rewriting the natural order. Ota, however, believes coexistence is messy but necessary, and that the city can survive through balance rather than domination. Cars ultimately argues that a vibrant society needs both innovation and tradition, and when faced with difficult decisions, doing nothing is still a choice, often the one that lets imbalance grow. And I really like this because I believe a city is the most beautiful when it embraces the future and the past. Look at architectural masterpieces like Taipei 101, a mix of both. Themes get a B for me. Judgment. In the end, I thought Cars was a fun time, and more people should genuinely know about Cars. It's a really good time and you would really enjoy it if you watched it. It feels super underrated and gave me similar vibes to Garo, another series that blends stylish action with darker themes, even though I couldn't find any direct connection between the two. Action hits, the animation looks great, and the themes about culture and technology and choice are things that you don't usually explore in anime. So I like this. My only real issue is the lack of presence from Echo, because giving the antagonist more time could have pushed Cars from good to something even more memorable, to really like an S tier anime. So my overall rating for Cars is a B for me. You know, Echo not being too present really held it back, and I really wish it was longer, right, so I can flush more characters out better, like Echo for example. Recommendations. Garo is a must watch if you like Cars. The similarities are uncanny, and I thought it was in the same universe. My other recommendations are Zetaman and Casher Sins. Inspiration. What I will take out of Cars is if I want to make a cool hero in a suit, and maybe when I just want to talk about the spirit world and look at the dynamic between a hero who protects over the spirit world, or just protect over some sort of realm. So I might look at Chorus for that kind of inspiration, and also the themes, right? Once again, very unique themes. So I might try to take away from that if I'm ever want to say anything like that, and maybe even take inspiration from the animation style, right? With the 3D, really inspiring right there. That is it for the video, everyone. Let me know what you thought about Chorus. Did you think it was mid, good, bad? Let me know in the comments. And you made it this far, so you might as well like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow all my social medias for updates when I'm posting. You know, I just post whatever, you know, I share. I repost a lot of stuff on TikTok, on Instagram. So make sure to follow me on social medias. I'm trying to get this channel to 200 subscribers. So once again, make sure to subscribe, right? Make sure to comment too. I want to know what you thought about Chorus. You know, it's definitely an underrated anime. You're not going to hear anybody talk about Chorus in this day and age. Yeah, let me know if you have any anime recommendations for me to watch, you know, and if I like it, I might talk about it. Who knows? And make sure to check out my book. It's going to be on my YouTube channel. You know, it's a really cool book. And yeah, Jane, my anime cult.